Biafra, superstars, media.
What makes Nigeria a very unique country? It makes Nigeria a country that, how do I explain it? It makes...
Only there, my sister. My people, what you're hearing is Betty Akeredolu, the late governor that died. Her widow just called Nigeria a zoo. She called Nigerian country a zoo. The widow of the late Governor Akeredolu, his wife, Betty Akeredolu, just called Nigeria a zoo. Let's continue. Listen.
Nigeria, one country that even if researchers want to research the unique thing about this country, it would take them a lot, because you cannot have 700 and something ethnic groups together, different cultural, traditional, and religious beliefs, but we're together. We've been like that for more than 100 years. We have our challenges, agreed, but we have been together for more than 100 years. However, this conversation is important for us to have if we want to weed out the root cause of Nigeria's stagnancy.
Okay.
It starts with ourselves. Okay? Now, again, Nigeria's media, right, has been very vocal about issues that come from tribalism, and it's actually shaped a mentality for many rulers. All right. Now, Nigeria is perhaps the world's greatest victim of identity politics, and this was by Austin Tam George.
Listen.
The politics of whom you, where you come from, and which deity you worship. Identity politics, and especially tribalism, however, do not seem to be discussed in mainstream media, especially in the West. For Western media, Nigeria has a negative reputation. Its politics are conveyed as corrupt within an unequal society. Analysis and discussions that look at tribalism, which shapes the country's identity and can explain Nigeria's political and societal evolution, are absent in the Western media landscape, even on outlets that cover African issues in past. Okay. Now, X is full of conversations and discussions about tribalism in Nigeria, especially due to upcoming elections, during the election, and post-election. Okay. But to understand the role of tribalism in Nigeria and to give context to the lack of media coverage, media diversity, there are a lot of factors that have been ruled out as to that particular situation. And obviously, the National Orientation Agency has actually been called into this. Okay. What are you doing about Nigeria's political identification? What are you doing about this tribalism that seems to divide Nigeria when there are important conversations that ought to be had, especially by those whom you consider to be averagely educated? Why is this conversation coming to the fore today on matters? It's quite important, all right, for us to have this conversation. And that is because something recently happened that warranted this conversation, that set up X, although the tribal differences has been on X ever since the 2023 general elections. It became quite potent, especially for owners, residents of Lagos State. They have been against a certain tribe. It's become so bad that they formed a conservationist group, a group that intends to conserve and retain their tribe and make sure that everything that is in this state is owned by their tribe, and every other person who doesn't belong to this space, specifically a certain tribe, should go to their state and develop their state. It's important for us to have this conversation here. And it's also...
With all due respect, I'll be very brief on this one. To the Yorubas, you guys are the ones keeping Nigeria one. Think about it. You guys are the ones responsible for Nigeria to remain one. I will leave it there. Think about it. Let it marinate in your mind. You guys are the ones responsible. You are the glue keeping Nigeria one. Think about that. I will come back and break it down after. Let's go.
Important for other tribes to look into their state and see how they can develop their state, because you cannot say that your state is superior or your region is superior and there it is economically undeveloped, infrastructure wise undeveloped, educational wise undeveloped, healthcare wise undeveloped, and you're a resident in another region which seems to be quite liberal, accommodating and accepting, and then you make derogatory statements about them or what not have you. That's part of the conversation we're going to be having today. Well, Ondo State immediate past First Lady, Mrs. Betty Akeredolu, described Nigeria as a zoo. Now, I want you to remember something, that she's not the first person that has described Nigeria as a...
There, my sister, you're right. But with all due respect, if this is coming from the wife, whose husband was a governor, even though he's late, that tells you the bedroom conversation that most of these leaders they are having. They know the truth. But when they're in power, they pretend. They turn the other cheek. Like a good born-again Christian. They tell you to keep a blind eye. You see what is happening? It's only when you are out of power that you start to confess what is already known. When Nnamdi Kanu called that zoo a zoo, people were angry with him. They called for his life. But today, the wife of a late governor has just described your darling Nigeria as a zoo. She likened Nigeria to a zoo. That tells you the sentiment these guys have. All of them in power, all of them, they know they're in a zoo, but they loved what they are getting. That little crumbs they get. Even though they know the cabal, they control everything in Nigeria, but because they are in a realm of affairs, they are still making some money. Crumbs, but they are happy with it. But deep inside, they know Nigeria is a zoo. So let's take it back from what she said, then we'll continue. Listen.
Mrs. Betty Akeredolu described Nigeria as a zoo. Now, I want you to remember something, that she's not the first person that has described Nigeria as a zoo. You know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu too has called Nigeria a zoo in most of his outbursts or talks, to either his followers or when he's trying to describe certain things going on in this country. Well, on Wednesday, Betty Akeredolu said this while drawing parallel lines between the country's presidential election and that of the United States via her X handle. Okay. And this is what she wrote. Just thinking, 2023 Nigerian presidential election total votes cast 25 million, counting duration 5 days. 2024 US presidential election total votes cast 155 million, counting duration approximately 10 hours. However,
now is she telling lies? No. In your own zoo election, the INEC came and said, oh, system glitch. The results were different. A zoo will always remain a zoo. Some of you love Nigeria because you are gaining from Nigeria. That's the fact. And also, some of you have plan B and now you are enjoying in Nigeria. That's why you still love Nigeria. Because you have a plan B. Say when Kasala busts, you can easily book a flight to UK, to the Caribbean island, to a neighboring country. Most of you are selfish and greedy. You say you love Nigeria because you are gaining from Nigeria, while the masses, they suffer. She made a good point here. Ordinary 25 million votes. It took you 5 days and a system glitch. Your system was choked up, according to INEC, to deal with the data of just 25 million votes. But in Trump's America, over 100 and something million, in less than hours, they were sending out congratulatory messages. Nobody said, go to court. Oh my God. Nigeria, una shame they shame me. But we thank God, say, the Western world, they have seen what is happening. We shall not allow these old, dirty, stinking looking men that should be in their care home, men that should be in the grave, criminals who have made billions, stolen billions, yet they refuse to relinquish power. And because of tribalism she just spoke about, the tribes don't care about it. They love it. They say, God bless Nigeria. They say the Igbos must go. The Igbos are the problem. You leave the main problem and you blame my people. And now we want to leave. You are saying no. There is a saying that to keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done. You even told Barack Obama that, oh, I heard in Nigeria there is a saying that to keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done. The idiot was quoting you guys. That's how evil these guys are. Obama, I know what they did to you. The cabal, I know what they did. When you made Buhari the president, they promised you heaven and earth, but you were being smart and clever. You were being smart. Because what you did was this. Suddenly you wrote a book, and your book became, according to the zoo and, the Western world and Amazon and analytics, your book became the best seller. But I'll tell you something that I noticed. You see me, I keep my records. My people, do you know that in Nigeria, suddenly the federal government were sharing the book written by Obama in secondary schools and primary schools? My nephew had 2 copies of Obama's book, and I'm wondering, what the hell? Why would they share these things? He said, no, they brought it to our school. Oh, they shared it to everybody. What they did is this. It's a backhand payment. They couldn't give Obama the money direct. So he will say, well, you guys can't really give me some money here. No, it'd be a problem. But I can write a book. If I write a book, you guys can buy 10 million copies. And indirectly, I get my money. That was how he made his money. And that's why he supported the cabal. In secondary schools and in primary schools, they were sharing the book written by Barack Obama. How did the zoo lay hold of such a large copy of those books? Because through back door, they bought in a large quantity. The recipient will be Barack Obama. So indirectly, they have paid him for doing a good job by ousting out Goodluck Jonathan from office. You see me, I have the memory of an elephant. There are some things I know, I refuse to speak on it. Even in Britain, what they have, they call it Quango companies. Quango companies. Quango. Quango. What they do is they will open up one firm, an NGO. Before you know it, people are sponsoring them, supporting the NGO, doing some benefit, but indirectly the owner are the politicians in Britain. I was shocked when my nephew brought 2 books of Barack Obama. A young boy that can't even read on that level. They were just sharing the books to everybody. Your zoo. That's what we are saying. That zoo called Nigeria is a contraption. But we thank God, we now have Trump, a Christian who understands the plight of Christians in that zoo called Nigeria. Unfortunately, the Yorubas, I'll tell you the truth, you guys are the glue that holds Nigeria. You guys are the glue that keep Nigeria one. Because the moment you join hand with the Biafrans, Nigeria will fall that night. But the cabal, they have this partnership with you guys. And you are happy to play a second fiddle, a second role. To be an assistant to the cabal. That's my worry. That's my problem. That's why it looks like it is hard to break up that zoo. Because deep inside, the Afonjas amongst you, they have a partnership with the caliphate. The Yorubas, I tell you the fact, you are the glues. The glue that holds Nigeria one. If you let go, that same night, Nigeria will break up. But with or without you, with the Biafrans we are going, although the job will be much more harder because we are fighting by ourselves, but it could have been easier if you guys just choose to do the right thing. You claim to be the most educated. You said you are the most vast, the most educated, that the first newspaper was published in Yoruba land. You claim to be scholars, but you allow the Fulani cabal, those that drink the urine of cow, those that shower with the urine of cow, those that suck the breast of cow. You allow them to rule over you. You allow them to choose who becomes a president from the Yoruba side. We are the best you are there to offer us. No. All these years, they chose Obasanjo, they chose Emilokon, and the rest of them. Even when MKO tried his best, they still chose Ernest Shonekan. And when you guys want to speak, they connive to kill the best amongst you. Delegawa was killed. Bola Ike was pied. Abiola was pied. You name it. Even this last man now, Lakbaja, was pied. And you guys, you pretend you don't know what is happening. Hey, Ebube. Ebube. Let's continue, I beg.
One of our followers actually commented on the post, and this is what the person said: truth is indeed bitter. I can understand the states via her X handle. And this is what she wrote: just thinking, 2023 Nigerian presidential election total votes cast 25 million, counting duration 5 days. 2024 US presidential election total votes cast 155 million, counting duration approximately 10 hours. However, one of our followers actually commented on the post, and this is what the person said: truth is indeed bitter. I can understand the attacks on her. We are doomed as a country. All right, so Betty's husband is late Rotimi Akeredolu, and who died on December 27, 2023. Now, after his death, Doyin Odebowale, the former senior special assistant on special duties and strategy to the late Ondo State governor, said he was weak when it came to matters involving his wife. According to him, he says, on his wife's management, Aketi was a weakling. Betty's late husband, a senior advocate of Nigeria and former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, died after months of protracted ailment, which was covered up by the family. This followed his re-election as a state governor in October 2020 and inauguration for his second term in office in February 2021. All right. Now, it was after his death that his family disclosed that he was suffering from prostate cancer. Meanwhile, Betty Akeredolu and other family members kept his health status hush-hush. According to some others, they said she maintained his health status hush-hush to have a grip on affairs of the state. And I don't think it's peculiar to her alone. I remember during late Yanodwa, before he died, or rather even while he had died, they did not inform us immediately that this is basically the case, or what he was ill and that he had actually died. A lot of hush-hush activity was taking place.
Some people, my sister, but that's the way they roll now. That's when they say Biafra woman, they will blame her. She was being insulted like none other. She was accused of even being the killer of her husband. That's life. That's life. That's why we keep telling you guys should be careful. Be careful when you do things. Nigeria is not one. Nigeria is not one. Today, the world is celebrating Kemi Badenoch in the UK. A Yoruba girl. But I thank God for what she did, because she has seen the way her people, they behave. That even when they came to her, telling her, hey, come on, you know, our local, can you say you're Yoruba? She said, no, please, leave me alone. I don't belong to that nonsense. And she's so lucky. If she had opened up and said, oh, I'm a Nigerian and I love Nigeria, her reputation would have been tarnished. She would never win that position as a conservative leader, because the reputation of Nigeria has been tainted. Lord have mercy. The wife of a governor, when the governor was alive, he was the darling of the Yorubas. Then when he died, they turned around and they blamed it on the wife. Why? Because she's a Biafran woman. God have mercy. Well, I thank God. These tears, this nightmare will be over very, very soon. To the real Yorubas, keep your head up. To the real Yorubas doing the Yoruba nation, keep your head up. I know that you guys, you are different, because when I grew up in Lagos, I didn't see what I'm seeing now in Lagos. I keep telling you guys, the problem started from 1999 when a senator became the governor of Lagos State. That was the problem. That was the beginning of the problem. It spilled from Lagos to the other states in the Yoruba land. When a foreigner, an interloper, an intruder was allowed to become the governor of Lagos State in 1999. He came in, he saw the wealth, but because he's a stranger, he has no interest in whatever. He chose to keep the wealth for himself. And when men like Funshaw Williams tried their best to step up, they took him out. He was strangled to death. And the Yorubas, they pretended they didn't see it. Because this same man was buying everybody around. Today, he has made sure only foreigners now rule Lagos. When I say foreigners, those from Ogun, Oyo, Ondo, Kwara. Not even Kwara, because now it's a Yoruba land. I mean, it's the Fulani land. Those from Yoruba, the other states, they are the one now ruling Lagos State. To the Lagosians, keep your head up, but you have to wake up. Your problem is not Igbo. I understand this new phenomenon between this problem between the Igbos and Yorubas. It is something new. It is something new to us. It is alien to us. It's only happening because a foreigner came and saw what was happening. He said, no, how can the Igbo and Yoruba be together? No. I can't have it. When you go to AJ now, Ajegunle, all the streets that were named in the name of the Igbos have been changed to Yoruba names. Why? Because this guy is myopic. I mean, the Afonjas that support this man. The foreigners who came to Lagos, and now they have subdued Lagos. But the real owners of Lagos, the Aworis and the rest of them, they are helpless. Very, very soon, this same man now, his son is growing up. Before you know it, if you allow his son to become the next governor of Lagos State, then I'm sorry. It means your trouble, your travails, the agony you are going through, the hell you're going through will continue for another 50 years. We also heard that the Obas, the Kabesis of Yoruba land, they want to sign a new partnership under the command of this same man with Britain. Say Britain can now hold them for another 50 years. They want to renew the amalgamation for 50 years. To the Yorubas, making a wake up. You are the glue keeping Nigeria as one. You are the glue, the super glue. They call it super glue in the Western world. The gorilla glue. The very strong one. You are the ones keeping Nigeria one. If you really want your freedom, yours should start from in-house. Those foreigners who are making you bow down to the caliphate, you are bowing down to those who are beneath you, intellectually and otherwise. Those foreigners amongst you that have strangled the wealth of the Yoruba land. Because Lagos is synonymous to the Yoruba land. But they have lied to you that the Igbos, they have come. Lord have mercy. They've told you that the Igbos have come to steal your Lagos, and you believe them. No, it's the foreigners who are so greedy. Those aliens who are so greedy. When I was growing up, when you are when you are playing with your friend, it doesn't matter if it's Ola, Bingpe, Tayo, Bola, Bode, Debo, Bode. My friend then, he used to call his name both ways. Two syllables. Debo, Bode, Debo, Bode. 2 syllables. He was so proud of that name. Debo, Bode. When you want to date a girl, you won't ask, are you Igbo or Yoruba? During those days, we don't ask those questions. God have mercy. You know, some of you don't understand what I'm saying. That was in Lagos. The Lagos that is having this problem, the Igbo must go. Before 1999, there was no such things as this. Igbos and Yorubas, they were one. During your Salah, for the Muslims who are the Yorubas, during your Baka de Salah, we call it Barika de Salah during those days. Barika de Salah, Odudeo, Odudeo go, Barika de Salah, Odudeo, Oduwo go, Barika de Salah, Odudeo, Oduwo go, Barika de Salah, Odudeo. When they are doing their Barika, we are so happy. Because they will kill ram and ram and ram. They go share meat, then go share jollof rice. Everybody go to chop. There is no enmity at all. During the Christmas, now the same thing. The Christians go kill, the Igbos go kill chicken, kill turkey, kill goats, go cook rice, share for your neighbors. Then during the New Year, now double, Igbo and Yorubas are doing it. Christians and Muslims, they are doing it together. Festival everywhere. Everybody, they enjoy food. That was the Lagos I grew up in. I only started seeing the problem from 1999. I'm speaking from my own perspective. As a young boy, a child growing up, I started seeing the problem from 1999. When a certain group now known as the OPC, they came from nowhere. Next thing, and what you no vote y'all, no vote y'all. Whoa. What's going on? Igbos, no vote y'all. I said, whoa. The Igbos that came out for councillorship during those days, they were buying them. OPC buying one Igbo guy, a rich Igbo man coming out for councillorship. They buying him. I said, whoa, really? Who are these guys? Foreigners coming from Ondo, Akuru, different states that followed that man to take over Lagos. And when they cornered the Lagos very well, it was too late. Those that were trying to speak out, they blocked them. The great lawyer, his name has skipped my mind now. That lawyer, when he talks with anger. He tried his best to fight. He fought and fought and fought. At the end, they bite him. That was when Lagos felt the free fall to that man and his family. That all the taxation, 60% goes to this man and his family. You see, one day I will sit down and break down my experience of what happened in Lagos. The change. And suddenly, they came with the slogan, Igbo is the problem. They now use psychology to blame the Igbos for everything in Lagos. It spilled over to the other states. The Igbo man only came to Lagos to do business because your seaport in that zoo is located in Lagos. NPA, Nigerian Ports Authority, is located in Lagos. And we the Biafrans, business is like our second name. We are synonymous to business. We have to stay close to the seaport to maximize our profit at a point where marginal cost is equals to marginal revenue, and the marginal cost curve is rising. Oyibo. To maximize your profit, it has to be at the point where marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue, and the marginal cost curve is rising. Marginal cost means additional cost. Marginal means additional. A point where marginal cost, additional cost is equals to marginal revenue, additional revenue, and the marginal cost curve is rising. It means you have to be located as close as you can to the seaport. That was why we came to Lagos, most of them doing businesses. They moved to Lagos to maximize their profit, to have a warehouse close to the seaport. If not, it would have been suicidal to clear your goods, and that same day you are taking a lorry down to the east. It doesn't make sense. Where is the profit? No. You'll be running costs, and your cost of your product will go up because you add what they call the markup price, and the people will not be able to afford it. So the best way they could was to say, okay, Alaba International Market, Trade Fair, Tejo Show Market, let us open businesses there. Let us have warehouses close to those areas and do our business close to the seaport. That's why you saw so many Igbos in Lagos during those days. And secondly as well, the civil service was in Lagos. When Lagos was the capital of that zoo called Nigeria, the civil service was in Lagos. It means people have to migrate or move, relocate to Lagos. I'm giving you the history. But people will not tell you this. They say, no, blame the Igbos. As if the Igbos came with AK-47 to steal your land. Eh? Oh my God, have mercy. You pretend as if even the name Lagos, where did it come from? The etymology of the word, when you look at it, it's a Portuguese word. It's a Portuguese word. Lagos, Lagos, it means the lakeside, the place of the lake. During those days, when these guys are coming through, they will look, they will scout for an area where they can anchor their ship. Lagos, Lagos. That's where they kept their first ship now. And they entered. That's how it works. But you pretend like you don't know what's going on anymore. You pretend. Well, let the dead bury the dead. But it's very, very sad that people know the truth, but they pretend. They know the origin of this problem. Because from day one, there was no problem between the Igbos and the Yorubas. Until some foreigners came, some aliens. And that same man, it was 77, Festac 77. When Nigeria did something called Festac 77, that was when he came to Nigeria and he was in Lagos and he saw the beauty. He never went back. Today we are hearing he's a CIA agent. All these things. But you still love him. No more shame now. Person will be thief, when they sell drugs, when be criminal. It's okay now. No more shame. You guys have lost pride, the sense of pride. You have lost shame. And you claim to be the most educated in Nigeria. But you are carrying a drug dealer as your champion. You allow the cabal to choose the worst amongst you. Oh my God, have mercy. Hey, Ebube, let's continue, I beg.
Did not even want to state out that he had passed on. Others wanted to put a lot of things in effect before they announced. So it took a couple of persons saying, we want to go there. They refused to hand over to Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who was the vice president at the time. And he had to go there and visit because there were calls to say, if we no longer have an active president, why don't you activate the vice president to be at the helm of affairs? Because you're trying to cover up things and do things hush-hush that will only benefit you. There were rumors that the constitution of some bills were meant to be passed so that some persons could benefit of the whole thing before his demise was actually let known on the press. Well, again, like I said, there's quite a lot of that in that particular situation. Now, when this statement came out from Betty Akeredolu, late Akeredolu's wife, X was set agog. They were like, okay, so this woman is from Imo State. We accepted her. We made her welcome, and she's calling the same Nigeria that gave her equal opportunity a zoo country. She made mention of the fact that ethnic divide is one of the problems that has kept Nigeria backward.
And now they now blame that, oh, we gave you everything. Now, you see, that tribal sentiment is there. Someone cannot speak the truth anymore. She just quoted that Nigeria is a zoo, and now that, oh, because we allowed you to come to our state, we gave you everything. We allowed you to be the wife of the governor, and now you're calling Nigeria a zoo. That's the problem of that zoo. Tribalism is worse than racism. My staff, they know me now. When they come and tell me, this white man was racist to me, my colleague was being racist towards me, I just laugh at them and say, no. What is happening back in your own country is worse than what is happening here. Tribalism is worse than racism. Because in tribalism, your own people, those that claim you are one Nigeria, they will look at your face and they will do the unthinkable. The Igbos can't buy a house. You break the house down of the Igbos in Lagos. But you are in England, you are in America, Australia, in Canada. You are buying houses. You are living next to white people. You are living next to the white man and you feel safe. You feel happy. You feel entitled. Living in the Western world with a different race. But in Lagos, people that you claim you're of the same race, black on black. You say you're of the same country, Nigeria. Yet you hate them with a passion because of tribalism. My people, tribalism is worse than racism. I said it. Quote me anywhere. Now, if anybody comes to me, please, somebody was talking somehow about my accent, I feel I was racially abused. I don't even listen to them anymore. I deal with the case and I let it go. Because what you do to my people is worse than what you're complaining about. It is worse than that. Tribalism is worse than racism. Trust me, I have changed though. I don't change. If not before, if you say, oh, somebody is trying to do my accent okay, I will, escalate it. HR, get them to the union to represent themselves. It can lead to, warning, suspension, or even sack. But now if you come and, because in my team, there are so many, people from the zoo there. I won't mention tribe. A mixture of different tribes that I manage. And when they come or when their friend comes to me and say, please, can you help us out? I look at it and I just, laugh. Because what they are complaining about, when you look at their social media platform, I believe some of them they would have done worse. People like that, they were choosing. When we chase the Igbo away, that house that my owner, that warehouse, hey, leave that warehouse. I'm the owner of the warehouse. The hotel there of the Igbos is mine. That business, that shop, I go break the padlock. I go steal everything. People come to tell me now. People tell me stuff. I've got ears in the different teams there. So when they come and complain, hey, this guy was laughing at me because of my tribal mark. I would just, I would just laugh. I said, okay, really? Okay. I'll investigate. Forget about it, because racism is worse than tribalism. No, sorry, tribalism is worse than racism. Because in this one, the whites, you know them already. They are different from you, so their perspective will be different. But in Nigeria, you claim to be one nation. The Igbo say, make we go. You say, no, they must remain there. And you hate on them. It's worse. People that look like you, talk like you, have the same kinky hair like you, and you hate them. You kill them. When the police kill them, you are thanking God. I beg. Continue.
You'll be so surprised that some of these public officials, right, actually monitor activities on X. And like I told you, if you have been on X lately, the conversation there aren't palatable at all. If you belong to a certain ethnic group, you'll be so disturbed as to the kind of hate, the kind of division that is being spilled there. And no active politician is calling it out. The National Orientation Agency is not saying anything about it.
They say nothing and they pretend. They love it. They love it. They feel good. Which is kind of strange. They feel good about such. God have no. My PM Simon, please, Simon. I cannot wait. I can't wait for Biafra. My PM, please. I beg you. Now I beg you. All hands must be on deck. All hands must be on deck. No stone must be left unturned. Please, my PM. No stone must be left unturned. Please, I'm begging. This Biafra must be something that is a do or die affair. Because we've gone through hell. For what reason? I don't know. We've gone through hell. People just hate us for no reason. They just hate us with a passion for no reason. When you ask them, what do you hate these people for? They don't know the fucking reason why they hate us. Just because we are doing well. I keep saying it. If you are into business, you are bound to make profits. The owner of Facebook is a billionaire. The owner of TikTok, they're all billionaires. Even X, Twitter, they are billionaires. If you're into business, you are bound to make profits. The owner of Amazon is a billionaire. When you're into business, you make abnormal profits compared to those that are working 9 to 5. So if your culture is all about working 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., then you are making, minimum wage. You are earning, a working wage, a living wage. But a man who is into business, in a month, they can make 5 times what you make in 1 year, in 1 month. And once they know what they are doing, in economics, they call it abnormal profit or super profit. If you can maximize your profit at a point where marginal cost is equals to marginal revenue and the marginal cost curve is rising. One day I will sit down and make a video to the Igbo traders. Teach them how to maximize their profit. Because this is what I do here in the Western world. One day I will sit down and make you guys understand. Those girls, you are dashing cash, be careful. Those loose cash, don't just dash it out for a one-night stand. No, use the money, the loose cash, you go into stocks, crypto, you maximize your profits. So that sometimes when you are sleeping, your money is working for you. Your money is slaving for you day and night. In crypto, when you're into crypto, your money works for you like a slave from sun up to sundown, 24 hours a day. The little coins you are making, don't be dashing those girls that are using you they use you guys anyhow. You maximize your profit. Oh my God. Our people, man, it's very, very sad. Let's just wrap it up. I beg. Let's go.
It's like certain politicians enable these individuals to continue to spill and spew such hatred and cause more disunity. Now, after the 2023 elections, and it seemed like Lagos State did not the APC did not get Lagos State. It actually surprised quite a lot of persons that how can Lagos State, an APC state supposedly owned by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But when I say owned, not in the actual sense of it, but the fact that when it comes to political affairs here, he actually is the foundation of it. He's one that actually holds sway. And they were surprised that the APC and the president did not win it. Post-election, congratulations. And it seemed a group set up themselves to say, you know what, we want to reclaim our state back. We want the Southwest to become identifiable. We're no longer going to be liberal. We're not going to be accommodating. Anybody saying Lagos State is no man's land is literally, that's a false, that's not true, and that's a lie. And they want to take over businesses, roads named after persons that are not indigenes of the state, businesses, they want to take it back. They also want to start doing businesses that other tribes do, so that those tribes will not think that they are more important or without them the state cannot thrive. Saying that
time, there's something called business science. If you like, go into those business. You must have the stamina, the acumen to go into it. You think the business is all about just to open shop or to steal shop from somebody? It is inborn. For us, it is business science, the science of business. And mind you, Lagos was once a colony. It stood on its own. The Portuguese, they had it first until Britain came and they debought it off the Portuguese. It means they took over from the Portuguese. But you guys, you pretend as if you don't know what is happening. That's my anger with these guys. But I thank God, all this nightmare will come to an end from the 2nd of December. The beginning of the end. To the Biafrans living in Lagos, look, you see me, I call it spade a spade. To the Biafrans living in Lagos, start seeing yourself as living in a foreign land. Start seeing yourself as living abroad. Because when Biafra comes, automatically see yourself as living abroad. If you have a house, a business in Lagos, see yourself as having businesses and real estates abroad. I call it spade a spade. Because to make this thing work, we must wash our hands off Lagos. The only reason why we went in the first place was the seaport. We wanted the seaport to do our trade and maximize profit. But now, once we have our Biafra, by God's grace, we shall build our own seaport. So see your houses there as having houses abroad. The same way, so some of you've bought your houses in, Dubai, Australia, America. See it that way. Hopefully, they will not use, tribalism to steal your house. But during that time, as a nation, we can now fight back as a nation. Say, hey, no. With all due respect, you must respect the law of real estate or whatever, that if someone has a home in your country, there are some policies you have to do. You know what I mean? If you want to take the land back, then pay them off the value. You pay them the value now. Don't just come and say, you know, the reason why they are bullying us now, technically, is because you still believe in one Nigeria. So the governor will just wake up 2 a.m. So, yeah, everybody come outside, come out. Then they break your house down. 2 a.m. in the midnight. Eh? Continue, I beg my sister.
All the tribes will go back to their state of origin and develop it. They no longer want such persons. I mean, you need to see the kind of conversation that is in there. And the big question is this what we're supposed to be focusing on when we have a mirage of problems bedeviling this nation? Our judicial system needs its own cleansing. Our educational system needs to be rehabilitated. The economic infrastructure is nowhere to write home about. And public investors and even private investors are no longer interested because of the inconsistent economic policies. There is an endemic problem in this nation. Why are we looking at tribal conversations when Nigeria has lived together for more than 100 years? Why are you asking for a divide now? Certain other ethnic groups are saying, you know what, Nigeria can never be one. We need to find our own way and secede from this country, since they have refused to cohabitate with us, since they think that we're going to be at the bottom of the drum. We're not going to take that. We're seeking and agitating for our own freedom, not just one tribe. Other tribes, they want to form their own nation. And when we hear calls for this agitation, what is the responsibility of public officials, especially on social development and orientation? What is their responsibility to repair the damage this kind of conversation and slur words would cause? Nobody is saying anything about it. Nobody is saying anything about it. Obviously, it feels like it's being enabled. Others will say that this is a distraction by certain politicians to keep them occupied from focusing on the main issue, which if they collectively remain and talk about it and have a conversation on it, obviously some of the malignment, some of the infractions we see going on in government will not take place brazenly and boldly, because collectively the people can call to question these public officials, and they will only have one choice, and that choice is to be accountable to the people. Like I said on matters, these are the kind of conversations I think we should have. Has Nigeria gotten to a point after more than 100 years where we have been coexisting, we have intermarried, and this time people are calling for certain tribes to find their way and leave? Others are saying we want to find our own nation. Where is that sense of conversation for national healing? I was thinking that after the 2023 elections, and we saw that the 2023 election was really mad with ethnic and political divide. In fact, basically ethnic divide, which was one of the foundations that caused either voter apathy or caused some persons not to be, that caused some disenfranchisement on some Nigerians when they went to the polling unit, especially in certain states. We were thinking that post-election, the federal government or the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would have set up a conference for conversations like this to have been had, and where there will be a call for national unity and peace.
Hold on, my sister. You have spoken very well. Respect to my sister Esther Nwachukwu. She's in a good job. She's excellent in her job. And Esther, I promise you, when Biafra comes, oh my God, I will personally write to my beloved Prime Minister to make sure that our sister Esther Nwachukwu gets a very good job role in the media. I see how she flows. I see the way she carries herself. She comports herself. She's very professional in her job. Esther Nwachukwu, I respect you. I appreciate you. You are doing a very good job. I know Rufai Yosede will be proud now of you. They love the way Esther does her job. And because of that, I sang for her a very special song where I said, Esther Mo, now which one you dey? Now which one you dey? Oh, you be Biafra girl, oh, Esther Mo, Esther Mo, Esther Mo, Esther Mo. Now which one you dey? Now which one you dey? Oh, you be Biafra girl, oh, Esther Mo. Esther, now which one you day? Now which one you day? Oh, you be Biafra girl. Oh, Esther, Esther, now which one you day? Now which one you day? Oh, you be Biafra girl. Oh, Esther, now which one you day? Now which one you day? Now which one you day? You be Biafra girl. Oh, Esther. Woo! Respect to my sister. This is how it's done. When a journalist from the Biafra side is breaking the news, we are fair, we are just, we are upright. Respect our sister, Esther Nwachukwu, for doing a good job. My Prime Minister, you know she has to have a special role in the media because she's doing a very good job. My people, I rest my case. For those who have ears, let them hear. For those who have ears, let them hear. From me, from here, for now, I just want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I remain yours truly, Biafra, Superstars Media. God bless you.